The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. Please excuse my sore throat. It looks like all three of you guys are here, so I'm going to go ahead and start. Let's see. Jaden, how did you have luck installing the program? Jaden, maybe you're not here yet. I know it's early. All right, we'll go ahead and launch Unity, the same project we had before. Rollerball. Okay, good to go. All right, I'll continue to paste the codes in the chat too. So if you, I like writing stuff down so I remember it, but it's up to you. What are we doing today? So today we are so right now we have our ball like this. We can roll it around, but we fall off the edge first of all. So let's start off with some safety barriers. This could be relatively quick. We move our hand and get a good high up. Maybe get a good view of this everything. All right, and now we actually don't need to do that, but it just helps us troubleshoot. We're going to go ahead and create some more cubes, or some cubes. Go here. So we got a cube. We want to. It looks like it's starting in a random spot, so let's reset that to the default, and then we want to move it to 10. That'll put it right on the edge, and then if we multiply z by 21, it'll jump out. I think, so we're going to go ahead and do this 4 times. It's pretty quick. We could even, let's see, we click on the cube. Let's see what the instructions say. We might want to learn how to copy stuff too. Okay. Oops. Where were we? Here, yes, okay. Adding walls. We got a cube. We moved and resized it. Oh, we can duplicate it by right-clicking. Oh, and it's also useful to give it a name. So let's go back. We'll go ahead and call this one, let's see, I moved that one in the Z direction. I'm not really sure what direction I moved, and that's in the positive X direction, so I'm going to call that east wall. Sorry, I mix my directions up sometimes. That would probably be the east wall, yeah. All right, so we want to right-click. It deleted itself. It's possible that you forgot to save it, which is an easy thing to do. Let's see. Do you still have the scripts? Oh, you do. Okay. Well, that's a shame. And you sure you checked the right file, I guess, the location. Yep. Okay. What else? Let's see. I'm not sure if I can. Why don't I try to send you what I've got? Save the scene. Let's see where it's saved. Saved under scenes. Copy that. Okay. Let me go and go ahead and send it to you. One sec. You can go ahead and create a new project called Rollball, and then you can import this scene. I'm going to attach this file. And sent. Okay. So Kevin, I just sent it to the email that you have given me before. I think you'll have a chance to catch up later when I'm explaining some code. So I'm going to keep going, but I'll go a little slower. We're going to go ahead and copy these walls in. Oh, I don't actually want to save it as something else. Okay, so we're going to right-click East Wall, copy. Oh, not copy, duplicate. Yep. So we can rename that West Wall. And instead of negative or positive X, we can make it negative X, and that'll jump right to the other side. If we do the same thing, duplicate and rename South Wall, we can edit that so the X is 0. We can rotate it by, you made your own walls. That's all good, Gabe. Yeah, this is just the simplest thing. Like probably the simplest walls you could add is just the borders, but you can definitely get a lot more complex with this. And we're going to move this one along 10 in the Y. Whoops, not the Y, the Z. 10 in the Z direction. I'll make it negative Z because I think that would probably be more corresponding to south. And duplicate final time. Yes, they do. Gabe says coding games can get really boring if you don't know the direction you want to go in. Only solution I have for that is practice. Lots and lots of practice. Once you get the hang of it, whoops, I duplicated again. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Once you get the hang of it, it becomes pretty intuitive, but it takes a bit of time. North Wall. Oh, I must have duplicated it twice. Okay, let's delete that. North Wall. We're going to change it from negative Z to positive Z. And there we have it. We should probably test at this point to make sure our walls are working as expected. So let's try to roll through them. And nope, we hit right into them. So that works just as we expected. And so once we've added them, let's organize them. To do that, it would be really cluttery over here if we don't organize our objects. So we can do what's called creating an empty game object. We can rename this to walls. And we just drag all of our walls into the wall section, a wall folder. What did you say, Gabe? Drag all the walls into the floor so they're connected. Yeah, so I started my cubes at, oh, look at that. They do have some position. That's interesting. I thought I took care of that. Okay. Oh, that's very interesting. Let's see. Oops. Let's see. I think I need to go like this, and then like this. And then I'm still working on moving around sometimes, but we look down. Well, they're appearing where they're supposed to, and they were originally halfway through the floor. They look like they're still halfway through the floor. So as long as they work, I think they're all right. I made them, this is 21, and I made the walls, sorry, this is 20, this blue, and the walls are 21, so I made sure that they overlap at the corners, and that way they're all connected. That's what Gabe asked. He wanted to make sure that they were all connected. So I'm going to stick with this because I'm not sure why these positions are showing crazy numbers now, but let me just mess with that. Let's see. The transform to position to 10. Is it due to my, no? Did I change my plane at some point? That is very interesting. Does anyone know what's going on? My plane seems to be just fine, but my walls, yeah, well, they're working, so let's just stick with it. Yeah, these transform, the positions, I set them at, X position at 10 originally, and it worked just fine. Now 10 goes, you can see it over here when I put it at 10, but let's just stick with it for now. It worked. I didn't change my plane, no. So, well, let's just leave that a mystery for now so we can get to some more fun stuff. That will just help us as we troubleshoot later. It changes on its own when you open it. Okay. Well, we'll just stick with that for now. So, now that we've organized our walls, we want to add some prizes. This will make our game much more interesting, of course. So we need to create a cube, another one, 3D object, cube. All right. Let's start it at, let's see what happens when we click reset here. It looks like it jumps to the center. X position. Oh, yep, there we go. Okay. Very interesting. I don't know why these transform numbers are looking crazy, but the cube looks normal right now. So we probably want the cube to float a little bit, right? So the y-axis is pointing up. That'd probably be a good direction to go. We go up by 1.5. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Our cube can still touch it. Maybe 1.25. All right. Now, doesn't really look like a prize. Let's add some rotation. I'm going to copy this because oh, they only made it 0.5 in the air. Well, you can do it however you like. Oh, here they go. All right, so they moved the y up to 1 and made x, y, z 45, 45, 45. All right, so let's go ahead and do that because I think that'll look good. It'll turn it on its, kind of like a Mario Kart prize if you played Mario Kart with the diamonds. All right, and they're scaling it down. That's probably a good idea. It'll make the game slightly more challenging. Okay, so what's up next? Well, we actually want to make make these prizes look interesting. It's good to start off with just one. Oh, we should probably make the position not where the ball will just drop on it. So let's stick it at 4, 4 up in the corner. Maybe 6. 6. Yeah. Okay. I like that. Okay. So we've got this cube, but navigate to your scripts folder. I happen to be there, but I'll go back to assets and navigate. Double click on this folder. We might actually want to do this into the cube. Yep. Okay. I take that back. Go back to the cube we just created. Oops. Okay. Make this big again. All right. Let's go back to the cube we just created. Add component. We're going to add a new script. I'm going to call it prize. Is that a good? I mean, cube rotate. Okay. Let's be a little more descriptive. Cube rotate. create and add. Now remember, we want to drag that back to our scripts folder and from assets to stay organized. Go into scripts. We'll open up, double click on that. Let's see, Kevin, when you did that file work? And if it did, you got it to open, then go ahead and let me know if you have any questions getting to where we are, and I'll help you get to where we are. I'll also send you the script we're working on. You're up to this point. Great. Awesome. Okay. So, did I click on the wrong? No. Okay. Player cube rotate up here. So, we can delete what they give us. We don't need these functions. Oops. Now we want to go back here. Okay. I think I can change this so I can maybe see both at a time else. Okay, not playing nice, that's fine. Okay, we're going to create class cube rotate extends mono behavior. Make sure you spell it the same way you spelled your file, cube rotate extends mono behavior, spelled the British way. Open, close curly braces. I like the tab. Okay. So what do we want to add? Well, first we want to add an update function. I didn't say what we were trying to do yet, but I hope you agree with me that these prizes might be a little boring if they just sit there and they're not very, they don't really lure your attention. So let's go ahead and make them spin around. That was probably foreshadowed by the fact that we named this class cube rotate, but we're just going to write a simple function, an update function. We're going to reuse some of the things we used before in camera follow. We've had this time.delta time before. That's the time that's passed since this update function was called. Actually, this was in our other one, wasn't it? Player move. So let's go ahead and write our update function. Function update, open, close. Okay. Transform rotate new vector 3. Transform dot rotate. What did I say? So what we're doing here is this transform is calling straight to this field right here. To go back to the cube. Sorry, not field, this component. So when I call transform.rotate, that directly applies to these numbers that you see right here. Transform.rotate. You'll see transform rotation. So we can guess what this function is going to expect as an input because what's right here after rotation is x, y, z. Well, we've already used 3D vectors before. So when we create a new vector 3 with coordinates, we kind of expect that. Or we might not know it off the top of our heads without working up on this, but it doesn't come as a surprise. So let's say new vector 3. Remember, that's just the number of dimensions that we want to pass through. That's also what this rotate expects because we have x, y, and z directions, so it expects just 3 numbers. I believe those are 15, what was that, 15, 30, 45. All right, and this, we don't have to multiply it by the delta time, but this update function is called a lot. Every time it's not one-to-one, but almost every time, or maybe faster, they're not correlated. Sorry, let me take a step back. Okay, this update function is called a lot. It's very possible and even very likely that it's called much faster than 1 time per second. In fact, it's called much faster, usually called much faster than the speed that the screen updates. Now we saw, I'm going to pop really quickly into camera follow. we call this function late update, which Unity knows to call. We called that when we wanted to update once every time the screen was refreshed. And a typical refresh rate might be 70 frames per second. You might be used to that. When you look on YouTube or Mythbusters, they do some slow-mo videos that are really cool. You see the water balloon falling really slowly onto a nail or something, and as it pops, you can see it super slowly. Well, that might be something like 1,000, or the camera might be recording in 1,000 or more frames per second, but usually 1,000 is pretty standard for a slow-mo video. Yeah, your computers typically might update when you play games that are really powerful, graphically intensive games. A good computer might get 100 to 250 frames per second. That's pretty typical for a pretty nice gaming computer. So late update, that's called 1 frame per second. Update is called when it's ready to change things on the screen. So it all depends on the processor, and we don't need to get into too many details, but we know what to do because we've seen it on the slide. Time.delta time. What did I say? Yes. Time.delta time. Whoops. Looking back. All over the place. Time.delta time. Okay. We'll close the parentheses. So when we do this, it's very likely that a tiny fraction of a second has passed. 0.001 seconds or less. If we updated this every time, we zip this around every time. We pass this in every time. We wouldn't even be able to see it spinning. It might just be sporadically shaking because it's spinning it's updating so fast that it's up. I don't know. Do you guys get that? I feel like I'm keep talking around it, but let me know if you don't have it. I'm going to move on. You got it? Okay, great. Okay, so this is, we're pretty comfortable with this kind of thing. Let's keep on going. Did I need a semicolon? Yes, good call. Thank you. That would not have run. Oh, you guys are surpassing me at Unity skills. All right, so let's test this out. I made sure to save it, and then let's run and see what happens. Okay. Oh, look at that. Isn't that nice? What happens when we run into it? Oh, we can't really do anything to it. It's not a physics object, so we actually can't. Physics don't apply. When we bump it, it just continues to rotate like usual. It'll push our ball, actually. Yep, so it's stuck there. Can I show you the code again? Sure, no problem. Let me stop my Unity from running. Okay. Whoops. Code. Class cube rotate extends. Mono behavior. Open close. You told me to put a semicolon, but you didn't put one. Good. All right. Well, I'm glad that was easy. Okay. So let's go back. Okay. This is an awesome trick here. We have one prize. We have one function. We don't want to duplicate this work. So it's perfectly fine to duplicate a couple of game objects. But what if we want to change them all at once? Well, we can reuse them with something called a prefab. If you duplicate it, that doesn't prefab it. So, which is different. They're not linked. Prefabs mean we're going to create new instances or copies of this particular object, and it's always going to maintain the same properties of the parent object, game object, even after we've created them. So they're really nice. It's critical to use these when you're developing repeat components that should all, throughout the design of your game, they should be the same. So it says here, any edits made to a prefab are immediately reflected in all instances. Now, though they are, when you edit the prefab, that's what the parent, in our case, the prize cube, will be. You can still override components individually if you set that component, if you set that component, what do we call it? Drawing a blank. The instance, the copy. So let's figure out how to do this. If you want to edit all the change all the instances, then you make the edit to the original, what we call a prefab. So in assets, we want to make something called prefab. That makes it really easy to keep track of what the parent object is. So we'll go create a folder, prefab. Okay. All right, and drag our prize cube into it. So let's see. Make sure I'm not misguiding you. Okay. I've done this before, but it will be easier if we follow these instructions because I'm yes, you can right-click the cube and duplicate it, but that will not make a prefab as we learned. So create the prefab. We're going to drag our prize cube into it. I'm going to rename the prize cube prize cube just for clarity. Okay. Drag it down into prefab. All right. Now, when we copy and paste our prize object within this hierarchy, it looks like, yeah, Command C or Control C, Control V. Duplicate also does it. Okay, well, you could do the same thing we did. I'm going to copy and paste. Let's see if this. Okay. C, Control V, V, V. I think we want 8. So to make 1 through 7, then we have the prize cube. That should be good. Duplicate makes an exact copy, code and everything. Okay. Is that different than copy paste? You said the plane is the rotator. Oh, that's good. That's interesting. That's a tricky one. Okay. Well, Gabe says it's the same thing. He's probably right. So you can duplicate it or you can not. Oh, I guess this is probably important. We want to make sure we're in global mode instead of pivot mode here. I think you probably can't see that on my screen. Where is that? Pivot global. Anyone see that? Global. Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, let's, for now, hope we're in global mode. See what happens. Okay. We're going to move our prizes around the board using the Move tool and the red and yellow arrows. That is pretty convenient. If we use the selector tool, selecting them. Oh, they're kind of weirdly rotated. I might go ahead and transform them. Alright, let's see. Position X, we got 6. Let's go -6. Where's that moving us to? Is that appropriate? Oh yeah, okay. Click on another one. Actually, I'm going to make go positive. Did I do -6 last time? Yeah, okay. Oh, I should have kept them in the center. Oh, whatever. Okay, -6, -6. You can do these however you like. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. You got a score going there. Okay. Let's see. I don't think we've done -6 yet. And let's go with negative. Let's go with 0, 6. This one was 0, 6. Go with a 0, 12. Does that work? No. 0, -6, sorry. And a -6, 0. Not exactly what they did in class, but that's what I'm doing. Okay. In the lecture, I mean. Okay. Yeah, they did a little more circular. You can do them however you like. Oh, that's right. We're going to create an empty game object and put all of our prizes into it. We want to stay organized. Let's rename it to prize cubes. We can drop everything in. I think we can even click, shift, click, and drag. And there we are. Okay. So we've got all our prize cubes in. We're not really going to mess with our walls. Okay, let's see what happened. Can you send me the code? Yep. 1 second. Just paste it into the chat bar. Let me know if you have any problems with that. Okay. Where were we? Back in the cubes. Okay, we put them all in a folder. Now what? Materials. That looks cool. Okay. Yeah, these are getting a little boring. Materials are pretty easy to create. I want to do an experiment here. So we already created the material before. We went to into materials, right-clicked, went to create material. I'm going to call it prize cube. Yep. Okay. Let's pick a color. Oh, here we go. Okay. What might stand out? Let's go with it. Okay. So now, let's try just dragging this on a random cube. Look at that. Okay, so when we drag it on that cube, it's kind of hard to see. Let's change this. Well, this will be interesting to see too. Look at this. We can change the color of the cube right from here. That's nice. We hadn't explicitly said that before. Even drag it around. I might make it a little more blue. Maybe I'll make it red. What am I not liking here? Why is this? Okay, green. It just looks so much more vibrant. Okay, well, those are good. Okay, so we dragged this material here, and it changed to 1. That was not our original one. That's the question we just said here. Create a material. Okay, go into your Assets Materials folder, right-click, and go to Create. When you get to Create, you go to Material, and that just gives you a new material you can rename right there. I call it Prize Cube for consistency, but we could name it, something green. Okay, I'm going to delete the one I just made. Let me know if you didn't get that. I kind of went through that quickly again. Okay, all right. Okay, so if we just found out what happens if you just click and drag the prize color onto one prize in the scene. It doesn't change everything. Okay, it only changes the one. Now, that was an example of what we called, what's the word for it? Yeah, overriding the component. So we set this in the old material, but not in the original material. Or I mean, yeah, in one of the after ones. Turn metallic all the way up and set that as the ball. That sounds cool. Yeah, okay, good idea. Where do metallic turn it all the way up? Okay, I can get on board with that color. Let's see if we can get a cool one. All right, maybe we get a navy. How about that? Okay, I like blue. If you haven't noticed, I'm gonna go with that. All right, maybe something we can see it turning a little bit more. Not really sure. Okay, that's pretty cool down here seeing the metallic. That's nice. I like that one. That was this component right here. You can mess around with all of these components. They all mess with the texture and the material. You can add occlusions, which what do occlusions do? They I think they add dents or something. We don't. You might have to create those, but anything with these. But I don't know. You can just mess around with stuff. Emission. That might make it radiant. I'm not sure. 0.5. Oh, I kind of like that. 0.1. 0.01. Okay. 0.05. I'm going to stop now. All right. Let's get back to, you like white? Looks like a pinball? All right. That's good too. You can also make your ball a color too. I'm going to skip that step. But all right. So we've messed around with the color. Yeah. Oh, you said you like the metallic white pinball look. All right. Yeah. So we want to navigate back to the prefabs folder. Select prize. Go back into our assets. Go to prefab. Select this prize cube, and we see down here we have a default material, which I believe we can change. Oh yeah, no, okay. We're just going to go back into our assets, into materials. Now, why did that happen? I thought this should work. Navigate to your materials folder, drag and click. Okay, go back to the prize cube. Oh, navigate to materials first. Go to the prize cube, and then click and drag your material. Why isn't this working? Onto the prize cube. Okay. Am I doing something wrong? Navigate to your prefabs folder. Select prize. Navigate to materials folder and click and drag. Maybe this happens differently on different computers. Anyways, we do want to just change this material, so I'm pretty sure. Oh, nope, we don't want another prize cube. Let's just guess and check. Okay, that didn't work. I feel like I skipped a step. I feel like we didn't link these together. Is anyone getting this to work? I didn't have any problems with this before. Navigate to your prefabs. Okay, so we're trying to change all the colors of colors of all the balls all at once. And that way, with our Gage says, well, you don't. Well, we want to. Maybe we didn't do this step. Okay, highlight prize cubes 1 through 7. Oops. Right click. Okay. Right click on one. Click Select Prefab. Prize cubes already selected. Okay, so what's going on? And why can't we change our default material? I'm confused too. Highlight them and drag what? Onto prize cube? Well, I know this will work. We can get all of these and drag this onto here. Maybe not. That was not what we wanted to do. Okay. Drag the color onto the cube. Oh, I did that. I was... Okay, let's try dragging prize cube here onto prize cube here. That didn't work. Highlight all the cubes. Okay. We're going to use this workaround. And just trust me. Yeah, am I doing something different still? I feel like it definitely shouldn't be that hard. I think we missed a step. Oh, prize color. Prizes. We stored all the objects within there. Okay, moved prizes around the board. We did that. We copied and pasted. We already dragged our prefab. Maybe we missed a step up here. No. Okay. Well, for now, let's just go on and test out that they're working. But they are all spinning around as we wanted, so that's cool. Only thing that's left is to in this actually be able to collect them instead of just bumping into them. So maybe we'll come back to this at the end. Our goal is to be able to pick them up, right? So we don't actually need a new script. In player move, we can take this. Well, we want to create a new function. So go back to your scripts, or I think we already have open this class. So I mean this monodevelop. I'm just going to go straight here. I think you know how to get here. If you don't, let me know. We're going to create a new function. Function on, what was it? Trigger enter. On trigger enter. Close, open, close that, tab over. Okay. We want to add something, other collider. So we're grabbing the collider that we run into. Collider is a component that we're going to give the cubes. On trigger enter, we're going to say this. We're just storing this into the variable other. Remember, it's colon save stuff, save game objects. On trigger enter is this function's name. So the prizes will act as triggers when our players bump into a trigger. Our code will see if the trigger is tagged pickup. So inside of here, we want an if statement that says if the other dot game object dot tag let's see, equals pick up. Make sure you remember your capitalization. I didn't even say if. Here we go. I'll send it to you in just a second once I've got it myself. Okay. So we only add this if clause because we might want to trigger other events. This on trigger enter could be called for a lot of things. So we only want to pick up the ones that we tag, the objects that we tag pick up. So for debugging purposes, we're going to add debug.log boom. That just helps us debug, as you might think. And then we're going to set the game object to false. Anyone have any ideas why we might do that? Or what happens when we do that? Let's see, I messed up. Other set active equals false. Okay. I've forgotten some semicolons here, so I'm going to add those in. Okay, I'm going to send you, the first thing I send you will be the whole function, if you want that. The second thing I send you will just be the function we wrote, if that is easier for you to just paste in. Okay. All right. So, that debug.log is just so that we can test that the trigger system is working even if the object doesn't work as expected. And as this slide says, set active as false means this object becomes inactive, i.e. it disappears. So the debug is just a form of troubleshooting. It's good to build those into your code. So we added this as a separate function in here. We didn't put it in our update because this this function will only be called when we run into something. As we've seen, Unity has certain functions that it calls when different things happen. When the screen is ready to update, it calls late update. When it's ready to update the space, the 3D space, it calls our function just regular update. When a collider object hits a trigger, then it calls on trigger enter. There's a lot of on some action things that you can look up in the documentation, so that you can, on typically means when something happens, then, compiler errors. Okay, well, I'm sure I messed something up. Let's get back here. I'll finish what I was saying. When something on trigger means like on kind of typically prefixes functions that mean when some event, some certain kind of event happens, this Unity is going to call this function name and do whatever you've put into this function for this given object. The whole code for this one, I posted the whole code just before in chat. It's the second to last chat. The last chat was just the most recent one. The second to last chat is the whole code. Excuse me. Okay, so this is what it should look like. I know you can see that on my screen too, but let's see. Did that help you out? All right, good, perfect. Okay. Yeah, it's key that this is out of the update function. We don't want this function called. Well, it probably wouldn't be called because the update part of our function never calls on trigger enter. We want to make sure we found out before that these variables we have access to. It's only the things on the very outermost things that Unity has access to. And I know you said it's having compiler errors, so give me one chance to debug this. But I want to point this out. So this function update is on the outside, right? These variables are inside this function. This function's one of the outermost things in this class. This variable, speed, message1, update, and on trigger enter. Those are the things that Unity has access to. Let's just hit play, and it should. Oh, we haven't attached our object. So let's see if this is going to work this time. Okay. We want to go add the tag on the prize object. Make sure you go to the original, store it on the prefabs. In the inspector window, select add tag. So we click on this prize cube. In the inspector window, we click add tag. And then we will name it pickup. Make sure your spelling is correct. All right. You can click this plus box, pick up. Okay. Make sure this looks right. Okay. And while we're at it, we will need to add, let's see, add the rigid body component. So we'll go to add component, physics, rigid body. We don't need to do anything. Oh yeah, we do need to select is kinematic. That means the physics won't affect this object, like collisions. Now, our ball should just pass right through it. So you're saying my function that I sent you was giving you compiler errors. Let me try running mine one more. I believe you're supposed to put the variables before the functions, Gabe, but it's more good practice than absolutely necessary. Let's see. Let me see what this did. Okay, that didn't work. I don't really remember which one. Okay, prize cube. Which one is prize cube? This one. Oh, if I can hit it. I shouldn't have rotated my view. Oh. Am I doing something? Oh. I'm back. Not in the game. Okay. I'm still hitting it too. Okay. So you're still saying seeing compiler errors, and mine isn't even seeming to run. Maybe I didn't save. Let's go back here. Save. Oh, okay. Now I might get to see the error that you're seeing. Compiler errors. All right. Let's go to the console. Oh, that's right. Yeah, project here. If you go here, console, you can see your errors. We're expecting a parentheses, and we found an equals sign. So, false. Two equals before the pickup. Let's see what's in here. I didn't think I saw two equals. Oh, you're right. Okay. Yep, two equals before the pickup. Good job, Kevin. Nice debugging. We're testing for equality, so that's how we do it. Okay. So we'll go back to the console, hit play. All right. Let's see if we can run into this object. And, oh, still not working. Okay. So, now, this, oh, okay, we forgot a step. I forgot a step. Box collider is trigger. We have to set that. So we'll go back to our prize cube, go to box collider, click is trigger. Now let's check. Yeah, what did I do here? Its prize cube should be updating everything else. But, oh, I'm going to have to set that again. Okay, is trigger. I don't know. Okay. I'm sorry about this, but let's see. Oh, okay. Am I hitting it? I can't really tell. I definitely just passed right through it. So, next, we're going to do some troubleshooting. All right, we see this is untagged. Perhaps I didn't tag this one as pickup. So now prize cube is definitely tagged as pickup. I think that's because my inheritance is off. So let's try this again. Boom, there we go. All right, there's a small win. Okay, so I'll go and hit this one just to show you that this one's not going to work. So what did I do to fix that? That's an excellent question. So there's a couple of things. I'm going to go ahead and answer that even though you just fixed it. Because I think this is tricky, and part of this is troubleshooting when you're making these games. You have to make everything align just right. So what we did in our code right here, we said we have to, for this trigger function, we said when the trigger, on trigger enter, this function first, it has to be called, and that's called by the collider, a collider object, an object with the component collider. So we go back here and we see this box collider. So we have to click the checkbox is trigger. Okay, first step. If the game object has the tag pickup, is what this if statement says. So we have to make sure after we created the tag to tag this game object as pickup, and it has to be spelled the right way. Then in our debug log, we said boom. In the console, we do see that after we have a recorded boom. That's good. And then other game object set active false. That didn't need anything for us to set because it's just picking up that game object that we hit and making it disappear. Now, we did add a rigid body, but that's only so that for that instant that we hit it, when we click is kinematic, that means it's not, the ball's not going to react. It didn't work. Oh no, this is so frustrating. I know. This is often how programming goes. So troubleshooting, and that's all right. That's how you learn, really. As soon as you figure out the easier things, you know, kind of don't have so many easier issues. You tend to have more complex issues that are even harder to solve. But that's the challenge, and that's really exciting about programming. At least I get really excited about solving the challenges. Okay, so what might you need to have working? Now, did you check your console here, and did you hit a boom when you ran into your prize cube? Also, because nothing happened at all. Okay. Well, are you sure you're hitting the one that you added stuff to? We didn't actually correctly make a prefab. Select prefab, prize cube. I don't know. Just can't figure out why this isn't working. It's possible we missed something in the... So now we did have to set some things in the object in the cubes themselves, right? We had to add for each prize cube, we have to select the tag pickup up here, and we have to select that it's a trigger in the box collider component. So the cube rotate script, that works. That's generic to the ball. That's attached to the ball. Now, if we go through and add this tag to everything, which is very tedious, now this is interesting. Is kinematic is checked for everything? It wasn't originally checked. That's very mysterious. Why would that be happening? Is it possible that we have another one, a different object is we inadvertently set as the prefab? I'm not sure. Well, this is how programming goes sometimes, and it's not all the time. Often once you figure out what you did, usually very obvious, and if you're smart, you will remember that for next time. There is a material right there. Well, that's a physics material, never mind. Okay. I'm going to do this the tedious way. Okay, you think there is something there. Yeah, you can see the codes again, sure. That's a good idea. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and copy these codes again. In the player move, we have this code. Alright, that's the entire player move code. I'm going to double check that I sent the whole thing. Yes, okay. Alright. Troop rotate actually is separate from this process. So anyone have any ideas? Okay, so I'll go through this again for what everything has to be in place. Now, it's critical that you have the right code. Oh, you're right, it's 8 o'clock. Okay, well, quickly, it's the things that have to be in place for every prize cube are the tag pickup, spelled correctly. If you capitalize it, that's important, that it's capitalized the same way. I capitalized mine capital P, capital U. So that's important that you followed my convention, and if you didn't, then you need to change either the code or the tag. Then the box collider has to be checked. In box collider, the is trigger has to be checked, and then we should see everything work. And I'm going to quickly check that it's working. Yep, it's working on everything. Oops, missed it. Okay, so when you get it right, it works. If you have problems, I could go ahead and email you the code, but I would advise you to do some troubleshooting because it's good practice. But if you just wanted to get it to working, man, I can't believe I messed this prize cube thing up. Well, I might do a quick demo later on, but as you know, we have Kerbal coming up soon, so that's what next week will be. Ignore this SpaceX site, but if you haven't downloaded Kerbal, I suggest you go ahead and do it now. I'm going to paste this into the chat again. Make sure you download that, and we'll get started with Kerbal next time, and I'll probably jump in at some point to show you guys how to what the problem with prize cubes was. I apologize for. I know there's something really small that I must have missed, but all right. Have a great evening, and I'll see you on Monday. Talk to you on Monday.